First, I want you to understand something from the very beginning. This is not a motivational course. It is not abstract theory or environmental philosophy. This is a practical guide. Over the next 30 days, you are going to see how sustainability actually functions inside companies, how strategy is set, how ambition is defined, how material topics are selected, how KPIs are built. You are going to see the machinery behind it, because once you understand the machinery, you're no longer just an employee with an opinion about sustainability. You become someone who understands how to operationalize it, and that's a completely different level of credibility. From this point forward, I want you to approach this course not as a student, but as an internal operator in training. You are not here to collect information. You are here to build capability. Everything we cover is designed to be used in the real world. In your current company, in your current team, you'll start to see where sustainability fits in your department. You'll start to identify leverage points. You'll start to understand how to speak the language leadership responds to. And gradually, something shifts. But before you can lead anything, you need context. You need the foundations that most people pick up in fragments through the random articles, half-understood frameworks, or buzzwords without structure. That's why we start with the knowledge bank. The knowledge bank gives you the conceptual clarity, the definitions, the architecture, the mental models. It organizes what is usually fragmented into something structured and coherent. Only once that foundation is solid do we move into application. Before we dive in, let me give you a clear roadmap of what to expect. We've designed the course around 3 key thirds. The first third focuses on definition and understanding. Here, we'll start by answering the essential questions. What do we mean by sustainability? The second bit is about the ecological and business imperative, and the third part explores how sustainability is practiced in the corporate world. But for now, let's start with the very foundation defining sustainability and laying out the principles that shape the rest of this course. Before we can build an impact-driven career, we need to deeply understand the foundation we're standing on. That's why the first module in this course is defining sustainability. So we're kicking things off with the most important question. You've heard the word sustainability everywhere in company reports, on packaging, in social media posts, in job titles. But what does it actually mean? And more importantly, what does it mean to you in the context of your career? In the Defining Sustainability section of the course, we'll explore 4 key angles to help you truly define sustainability and build a solid foundation, the foundations of sustainability. We'll break down its core principles and scope, the ubiquity of sustainability, why the definition feels so elusive, and how to navigate that, the history of sustainability, where this concept came from, and how it's evolved over time. Right? The complexity of sustainability, right? Because this isn't black and white. It's multidimensional, and that's part of what makes it so powerful. This module is all about cutting through the noise, the buzzwords, the greenwashing, the vague feel-good statements, and helping you build a strong personal and practical understanding of what sustainability actually is. We're going to explore it from multiple angles, not just environmental, but also social and economic. Because sustainability isn't just about protecting the planet. It's about redesigning the way we live, work, and grow so that both people and the planet can thrive. That means energy and climate strategy, but also ethical supply chains, social justice, inclusion, governance, transparency, and so much more. Over the past few decades, sustainability has moved from the margins into the mainstream. It's shown up in global policy frameworks, academic debates, and just about every business strategy worth paying attention to. But with all that attention, the meaning of the word can start to feel a little blurry. So here we're going to unpack it layer by layer to understand what it really represents. Well, the most widely used definition, and one we'll return to often, comes from the 1987 Brundtland Commission. It defines sustainability as meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. At its heart, sustainability is both a timeless challenge and a guiding principle. It's about how we live today without stealing from tomorrow, how we meet the needs of the present, our economy, our communities, our personal ambitions, without compromising the ability of future generations to meet theirs. This core idea was powerfully captured by the 1987 Brundtland Commission, which defined sustainability as meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. It sounds simple, but it carries enormous weight of how to grow, innovate, and thrive without burning through the very resources and relationships that we depend on. The Brundtland definition also highlights two key ideas. First, the concept of needs, meaning the essential requirements for human well-being, such as access to clean water, food, shelter, education, and a healthy environment. Second, the idea that there are limits to what our planet can provide, and limits shaped by our current technologies and the way our societies are organized. So, sustainability isn't just about doing less harm, it's about responsibility, about equity, and about making sure that the progress we chase today doesn't come at the expense of people or possibilities tomorrow. Environmental responsibility, the first pillar, underscores the imperative to be custodians of our planet. It necessitates a recognition of the interconnectedness between human activities and the health of ecosystems. Embracing environmental responsibility involves minimizing environmental impact, conserving resources, and adopting practices that promote ecological balance. It challenges the prevalent mindset of viewing nature as a limitless source of commodities and highlights the need for a sustainable coexistence with the environment. Social equity, the second pillar, emphasizes the importance of fairness, inclusivity, and justice in societal structures. Sustainable development cannot be achieved if certain segments of society are marginalized or if disparities in wealth and opportunity persist. Social equity calls for equal access to resources, opportunities, and basic human rights. Economic viability, the third pillar, complements environmental responsibility and social equity. Sustainable practices must be economically feasible to ensure their long-term viability. Economic viability in the context of sustainability does not solely mean maximizing profits. It involves adopting business models that consider the long-term impact on the economy. It requires a departure from short-term, profit-driven approaches towards sustainable business strategies that generate value over time without compromising the well-being of the planet or society. These principles are not isolated concepts, but are interwoven, forming the basis of a comprehensive and holistic approach to sustainability. In the realm of business, these principles translate into corporate responsibility and a commitment to creating positive social and environmental impacts. In governance, they guide policymakers towards decisions that prioritize the well-being of both current and future generations. On an individual level, these principles inform daily choices, encouraging responsible consumption and lifestyle practices that contribute to a sustainable future. As we delve into the intricacies of these core principles, participants are encouraged to reflect on how these principles resonate with their own values and how they can be applied in diverse contexts. Sustainability is not a one-size-fits-all concept. Its principles provide a flexible framework that can be adapted to various scenarios, fostering a more inclusive and adaptable approach to sustainable living. So, we've explored the three fundamental pillars: environmental responsibility, ensuring the health of our planet; social equity, focusing on the well-being of people and communities; and economic viability, which drives the long-term financial success of our organizations. But it's crucial to understand that these are not separate silos. True sustainability isn't about ticking three different boxes. It's about recognizing that these dimensions are deeply interconnected and constantly interacting. Pursuing one pillar in isolation can often undermine the others. The real challenge and the greatest opportunity lies in finding the balance where these pillars meet. This brings us to a more integrated way of thinking. What happens at the intersection of these areas? For example, when we combine economic and social goals, we create equitable systems with fair wages and inclusive business models. When we merge environmental and economic interests, we find viable solutions like renewable energy and sustainable agriculture. This concept of intersection is where things get real, and it leads us to a powerful framework for modern business. This integrated approach is formally known as the Triple Bottom Line, or TBL. It's a framework that challenges businesses to measure success beyond the traditional financial bottom line of profit. Instead, it proposes that a truly successful organization must measure its performance across three dimensions, often called the 3Ps. Sustainability isn't about choosing one pillar over the others. It's about the balance found at their intersections. If we only focus on two at a time, we get different results. First, look at the overlap between social and economic. We call this the equitable zone, or socio-efficiency. This is where we ensure that economic growth isn't just for the few. It's about fair wages, job creation, and inclusive business models that allow people to thrive alongside the business. Next, when social and environmental needs meet, we reach the bearable zone, often called eco-justice. This is about the quality of life, ensuring everyone has access to clean air and water, and that we are building communities capable of climate adaptation. It's about making the planet a safe place to live for everyone. Then we have the intersection of economic and environmental, which we call the viable zone, or eco-efficiency. These are the practical solutions that make sense for both the earth and the budget. Think renewable energy, green buildings, and sustainable farming practices. These are initiatives that are both profitable and planet-friendly, but the ultimate goal, the holy grail of this model, is that center point where all three circles overlap. When we hit that sweet spot, we achieve a total alignment of people, planet, and prosperity. It's the only way to ensure that we aren't just meeting the needs of today, but truly securing the world for the future generations we talked about earlier. Ask, if we improve this one area, what might be the unintended impact elsewhere? 2, it becomes your ethical compass. The triple bottom line isn't just a business tool, it's a values-based framework. It prompts you to ask, are we harming people to grow our profits? Are we prioritizing the planet but excluding marginalized voices? Are we chasing short-term wins at long-term costs? 3, it gives you language that business understands. Sustainability roles often require translating between worlds, intention and execution. The TBL gives you that bridge. It helps you frame sustainability in a way that aligns with business logic. Social equals human capital, equity, brand trust. Environmental equals resource risk, regulatory compliance, resilience. Economic equals profitability, innovation, long-term viability. 4, it helps you identify false solutions. Not everything labeled sustainable is sustainable. The TBL helps you challenge superficial efforts or greenwashing. It pushes you to ask, is this initiative equitable and efficient? Does this carbon offset project benefit local communities? Is this circular product also accessible and affordable? It trains you to move past single metric thinking and toward holistic evaluation, a vital skill for anyone working in ESG, impact investing, procurement, or strategy. 5, it guides your career decisions too. Beyond evaluating projects or companies, the triple bottom line can also shape your personal sustainability journey. All the triple bottom line is about essentially holding multiple truths at once.